If he's fooled by joy, I can tell you without a doubt he's not the guy for me.
Good job.
What? Thank you.
I'm out. I'm going home. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, but this is brutal.
Hey guys, welcome to The Geet Up. Today we're talking Farmer Wants a Wife, Episode 5, and we have a special guest with us today, filling in for Ashleigh, Sara V here. Sara, welcome to the show.
That's right. How you doing, Sara?
Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's great to have you here. So we had Ryan last week. Now we got you, so it's been good.
I know. I got a lot to follow up on here.
That's right.
So what do you think of the show so far?
So far, so good. I'm enjoying watching it. I'm enjoying the new cast. I think the girls are stunning, and I think the guys have really big hearts, and I'm enjoying seeing the connections form right now.
So you got a favorite guy?
Yeah, who's your favorite farmer here?
Oh, that's hard. I'm a little jealous I wasn't invited to the Farrell Fall Classic. So, I mean, I love his girls. I've befriended a couple of them, so I'm kind of leaning towards him just because of his girls.
So that's the camp you're choosing, huh?
That's right.
That's the one I think they're all fantastic. I mean, I had to cheer for Mitchell because that's my production team that went with him afterwards. So I'm
okay.
like, I'm kind of cheering in that way just because I love our group, our camera people, our producers, our staff. So I don't know. It's hard. I think they're all great this year.
Well, how is it for you actually just getting to sit back and watch now, Vice being right in the middle of it?
It's so nice. It's so relaxing. I don't have to wake up to emails with like, this is what you have to be ready for today, and being nervous about what's going to be shown and aired because I don't remember half the things that was said or happened or how it's going to be clipped together. So it's super cool. I mean, they had the same format, the same concept. They just had kind of like a barn dance like we did, which was my favorite episode for us and my favorite experience. So it was enjoyable for me to be able to just sit back and watch.
Yeah, it's cool. You know, and during that time, you know, during the barn dances and like the group meetings, I mean, that's really like the main time you all get together and just chat with each other and kind of hang out and get to know how everybody else is doing. So I'm sure that was probably pretty cool, right?
It was the best thing ever for us because none of us knew what was happening going in because we're the first season. So being able to do that and then interacting with these girls, we're like, okay, are all your girls getting along? Like, have you guys kissed him? Are you guys building actual connections? So it was cool to be able to interact with people who are going through the same thing as us, but we're not competing against.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah, and if people remember, you made it pretty far with Ryan Black on the first season, made it practically to the finale. It was like you and another Sara, and then he brought Haley back for some weird reason. What was that about? Was it because you beat him in basketball that night and he was a little intimidated? Is that what did it?
I think I scared him away with my skills.
That's right.
You may have. You also seem. Yeah, you also seem like you were kind of tall for him a little bit too. I don't know if it was like heels or what, but
I definitely am. And what's funny is that I didn't wear heels ever on the show. I think they flashed to like some news right after it was on my face, and everyone's like, "Why would she wear heels? She's so tall." I'm like, "Those weren't my feet." I'm like, "You're the mine because I got basketball girl feet," but I'm like, "That wasn't my feet." But I never wear heels, but I do enjoy wearing them. But yeah, we were about the same height when he had cowboy boots on. So, I mean, not that bad.
And that's not too bad.
all right, well, let's get into this episode. It starts off with Nathan, and they're in the rain riding ATVs, bringing home the herd.
That's right.
This reminds me of the movie City Slickers, which is kind of interesting because City Slickers kind of is like this movie where you get a bunch of city folk. They're going to the country.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you ever seen that movie?
I have not, but now I feel like I need to.
Oh,
You're
check it
missing out.
Billy Crystal. Yeah, it's a good movie.
Yeah, I was just roping over there. Thought I'd mosey on over. You know, I'd never moseyed before. Hope I did it correctly. I mean, I've walked, I've ambled. I even sashayed once. Hello.
I thought that was awesome. Those girls looked like they were having so much fun.
Yeah, riding ATVs is always a blast. That poor dog's just running in the rain, though. No one's helping him out, so.
All right, well, even that dog was having a blast.
Oh yeah, he was leading the way.
And they seem kind of confused about what the instructions are here.
Oh yeah, you can tell he was having a hard time getting them to kind of figure out exactly what he wanted them to do with herding them.
He's like, "This is the plan. You understand?" They're like, "What? What are you even talking about? We just gonna ride ATVs or what?"
I think he's so nervous though. I think he's such a shy, nervous person that it's hard for him to really communicate with one, nevertheless, 4 girls at one time. Or 3. Is he 4 or 3 now?
He's got 3 now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
So, yeah, I agree. He's struggling on that front, and he's only down to 3 women, so he better start making some moves real soon.
Oh yeah,
I agree.
And can you speak to that on your perspective? What's it like being in a house with multiple women trying to date one guy?
It is so awkward because we lived there the entire time. So cameras there, cameras not. We're still living at this man's house. Also, speaking of Ryan and y'all's last talk with him, he still hasn't fixed that staircase that almost killed all of us. Still that wooden staircase. I swear we almost all fell off of it. It's intimidating. Walking around, you're getting ready with them. You see like, oh, she has a really cute outfit on. Like I'm just wearing this sweatshirt. Like, is this good? So you're constantly comparing yourself, I think, to all the girls around you, what they're doing, how they're acting. I think I got lucky with the girls that I was surrounded with, though, where I think we just kind of all got along and made it work. But yeah, it's very intimidating.
So it kind of feels like a community, but it's a competition at the same time, huh?
Yeah, which is it's just weird. But we all had our own places. I was always cooking and doing dishes. Lily was always dancing around. Sara was usually reading her book, chilling by the fire. Haley was playing with the cat that lived out there. Like, it was a great combination, I guess.
Now, are you not with the farmer during all this time doing this stuff for the most part? Because we see a lot of women complain about not getting their solo time.
Right.
So how much time are you actually spending with the farmers while you're just hanging around the farm doing, stuff around the house?
They do try to keep him away. They'll send him to the store. They'll put him in his room and like kind of block him off for the most part. But you have plenty of time. I mean, if you really want time, you make it. I mean, there was times we were hanging out with the horses and it was just me and him talking for a couple hours. We'd be up till 2 a.m. talking about stocks, which is probably why we ended up just being friends, because that's not usually what you do up till 2 a.m. But you can have time if you make time. They just try to prevent it.
Gotcha.
Unless it's on camera.
You're just watching the show. You're like, damn, you got 24 hours. Like, everybody's complaining about not getting enough time, but it's like you couldn't pull an hour or two aside and kind of talk to the guy. But no, that's good to know that they're kind of locking him away.
Yeah, like the time is there.
Yeah, he's gonna take advantage of it.
Right, 100%.
All right, so they cut to Reba, and she's complaining, and she's like, it's a red flag that Brandon's kind of interested in her and Joy at the same time. But, I mean, isn't that kind of like the nature of the show here?
Yeah, it's absolutely the nature of the show.
Like, what do you think about Reba? She's having a lot of issues with Joy.
I honestly love Reba. I think her ability to be herself and communicate her feelings the way she does is impressive to me, because I'm very more laid back and reserved in that aspect of things. So I have a lot of respect for her in that way. I think with Brandon, I understand where they're kind of both coming from, and they're different, how the girls are so different, and why would he like her if he likes me? But I think she's wrong in that area. I think there can be 2 completely different people and someone has the same level of I guess I'll say, I won't use the big word, for each person for different reasons. So allow him to figure out what's best for him. But if that's not what's best for you in the meantime, then leave and kind of do what you want to do. And I respect that 100%.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, I mean, we're not, like, just watching the show, to me, it doesn't seem like Joy's being fake, like Reba keeps calling her. But again, we only see what the producers want us to see, 45 minutes worth of, several days, at a time. So, who knows what's going on behind the scenes, or maybe, Reba's seeing more stuff that she's like, yeah, she's being fake.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes on, I'll say, that isn't seen, but I don't know what's happening there. So I couldn't say.
They go to Mitch, and he has his 4 girls, and they're shooting bows, and they do a little bow competition. You ever shot bows, Billy?
Oh, yeah, I shot bows.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You pretty good at it?
Yeah, when I was younger, I was all right at it.
Sarah, what's your experience with shooting bows? Did you get to do that on the show?
Not at all. I've done darts and the guns with the little discs that they throw in the air, and I'm terrible at all of it.
Yeah, I haven't had much experience. I've seen some Robin Hood, some Hunger Games, so that's about the extent of my.
Then you're an expert, man. You're good.
But they have this competition. Some women struggle. Some do okay. Like Sydney gets pretty close and she wins, so everyone else has to shovel the poo.
But hey, at least in this case, there's only one horse, right? So it wasn't that big a deal.
I think Sydney's getting a ring on that finger.
Oh yeah, no, I'm with you.
They were making out. So, and they were making out pretty strong, and that was the only person to this point that Mitch has made out with. So that must mean something, right?
I think so. And I think she's extremely genuine, and with that type, like she's with that lifestyle, I think she'll fit in great.
Right, yeah. I think out of all of us, she definitely fits in the best with that kind of lifestyle. 'Cause I think she's a construction worker, and and she already knew how to drive tractors and stuff like that coming on. So, yeah, I agree. I think she's definitely number one on his list right now.
Yeah, and I'm sure you shoveled some poo in your time on the show. That seems to be a big part of the show, shoveling poo, throwing it at each other, and all that kind of stuff. So,
100%. He was throwing us in these stones. I'm like, when's the last time you cleaned this?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Seems like they saved this up for you guys.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Right.
So speaking of kissing, like that seems to be a big part of the show. The women are talking about the kisses. The farmers are talking about the kisses. How big is it to get that kiss on this show?
I think it's important to an extent. Timing's everything also. I mean, for us, like Haley had it right in the first day, but they were still getting to know each other. But I think the one with Sara was important. So I think with the show here moving forward, I think with the Sydney kiss, that was a big thing for Mitchell. I think with the Taylor kiss with Nathan, that was him making such a huge leap and step out of his comfort zone. And the fact he chose her to be the first person to do it with, I think it's a very, very big tell on how they're feeling.
Yeah, and that was cool, right? Because we haven't really seen much of Taylor at all up until this episode. Now she's kind of at the forefront, and I like Taylor. I think she's cool. I think she's actually probably good for Nathan. But I mean, and the thing is, so we haven't got to see if she'll actually fit into that lifestyle or not. But maybe now that they're focusing on her, we'll get to see more of that.
Yeah, I mean,
I think personality for it.
And women are going home every week, but there's still a lot of women that we've seen very little from. So.
Yeah, exactly.
But Nathan, you could tell, is feeling the pressure, and it seemed like he had to kiss someone here, right? Because, like, Jennifer Nettles is telling him, the other farmers are like, oh, yeah, we kissed somebody. So he's like, dang. And then even the girl who left last week's like, you need to step it up. So, he had to do it with someone this week. So, and then he even asked to get the kiss. He doesn't even, like, move in for it. Right, so you could tell he's pretty timid.
Oh, yeah.
I agree, and I think he definitely could have waited for that one-on-one time with her to make it kind of special, romantic, and nice. But it was a good setting that they were in, and I hate being asked for a kiss in my own perspective. I'm just like,
it's just weird, right?
Nike baby, just do it.
Yeah, I mean, what are they going to say? No, right there. I mean, they should be leaving if that's the case. So, like, just go in and get your kiss.
Right, yeah, exactly. Just go for it, man.
If they reject you, that tells you something.
I think he grew up just in that type of respectful, he's going to ask the dad for the hand kind of thing. Like, he's that kind of guy, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, and he is young, so maybe he's somewhat inexperienced, too. I don't know.
Yeah, he definitely seems like he is, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of which, so he said he's got some kind of surprise
he said
lined up for
before he gets the kiss, he's like, "Hey, stick with me because I got a surprise for you." Sarah, what is he referring to here? You think he's got like a boa constrictor he wants to show her at home, or like a garden snake, or what are we talking about here? What's the surprise?
I got something for you, sweetheart.
I'd be running out of there. I don't know. They do allow for the guys, at least from my experience, to make it special and unique for certain dates, depending on what the girl likes. Like, Ryan was very respectful in that manner. He chose dates depending on what we liked, and was very happy with it. So I feel like maybe he has something in mind that he knows something she likes, or he's going to surprise her, maybe a family member. I don't know. But he has a cool surprise, and I think that also is showing he's very much leaning in one direction here.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. No, I'm with you on that. He's definitely leaning towards that.
Well, and he can't really afford to lose too many girls at this point, so you got to keep him enticed with something, I guess.
Brandon's girls are dropping like flies.
Oh, that's exactly what I said after I watched it. I was like, damn, man.
I mean, he started off with 4, but like Reba
in one episode,
everyone's dancing, and Reba's like, "I'm out. I'm checking out," and she wasn't kidding.
Mm-hmm.
So this episode, we finally see Reba go home.
But you notice at the same time, he didn't really try talking her into staying, right?
Yeah. Well, he
So-
didn't try and talk anyone into
No,
staying,
exactly,
really,
yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Same thing. Like, if he wants him there, you would think that he'd fight a little bit for them or have more of a conversation. But instead, it was more so he was just listening to them, and he was like, okay,
Right,
like, I
yeah.
understand, appreciate it, and I respect your decision. Bye.
Right.
Yeah. And do you think he wanted them to go home, or do you think he just didn't think about fighting for them and was put on the spot?
I think he had Joy on his mind.
Yeah, no,
Well,
definitely.
Joy's talking about like getting ponies with him and stuff. So
He's like, you realize what kind of, it's like, they're hard to take care of. And she's like, yeah, no, it's okay.
he's probably like seeing dollar signs too. Like,
Right,
"Man,
exactly.
Why don't you ask for something small like flowers first or something?
It's just exciting to him. It's something he's not used to, not the typical girl that he's dated in his area. And I think it's exciting for him. I don't think it's a good fit at all.
Yeah.
But I think he enjoys that like chase and that excitement that he's getting there.
Yeah, no, I agree. 'Cause I honestly don't think at the end of the day, Joy would fit in well in a farm life. You know, I don't think she would. But no, but I think you're right. I think it's exciting, you know, just, having somebody with this, bubbly personality that she has, and it's just different from a lot of the rest of the people. So,
But I
she-
think-
she's a sweetheart. You know, she seems like she's a great girl, very nice. I just don't think she'd actually fit in on the farm.
Yeah, I think Reba could though,
Yeah.
and Reba could be good for him, but it's just like this isn't the environment for her, like to be on a show competing with other women.
No.
She's got too many like issues. It
Right.
seems like with that. So, but if it was
I
just
think Reba-
him and her on a regular date, then it might work.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she put him right in his place, and I think he'd like that excitement too. I think he likes both sides of it, but he's letting them run the show instead of him taking a stand and presenting what he wants. Because we haven't heard much of like, what does Brandon want? What is he looking for? What does he like? We just don't know. He
That's
just
a good
lets
point.
them.
Yeah.
The girls are running the show on his farm.
And some of these women are surprised by what some of the guys are saying because Ty's saying, "I don't know if I want more kids," and women are like, "What?
Yeah.
That's a big deal." So
Oh,
when people choose which farmer they want in the beginning, and how does that process one work, and how much do you know about these guys when they're slotting you into these farms?
you don't know much. So basically, we would get an email, and there would be maybe like a 1 to 2 minute video of each one. And we don't have their names even because they don't want us to be able to find them. So it's Farmer A, Farmer B, Farmer C, Farmer D. So we have all these different options, and then we rank them based off of how much we think we'll get along with them, and vice versa. So they do the same thing for us. They make a list of which girls they think that they'll get along with the best, and they rank us. So then the producers go in or whoever and says, "Oh, okay, they both like each other. Boom, that could be a match." Or even if not, like I know certain girls on my farm were aiming for a different farmer, but they thought that they would match better with this one. So it's kind of like a matchmaking game, but you do have a say.
Right. So once they match you up, you could still say, yeah, I wasn't necessarily shooting for that farmer, but sure, I'll go on his farm and try to date him.
You could, because you don't get to go to another one.
Right.
So like the producer came into my hotel room and was like, "This is your guy," and I was like, "Boom, cool, got it, cool, I like it." That was like he was at the top of my list. Great, I'm excited. And then you go about it. But if it's not the one that you maybe had in mind, you either go give it a chance, but there's no other space for you on the other guy's farm, so
Right.
you're not going there.
Gotcha. Okay.
I think they need to have a moment at the end where the women get more of a say and have the ability to choose, like maybe either choose, get eliminated, or something like that to mix it up and make it somewhat exciting, and like to give maybe some of the chance. The only issue I see with that is there's a lot of women here, so keeping some around even longer would overcomplicate the show probably. But maybe you start off with less women or something. I don't know.
I think they should show or allow more interactions between the women on other guys' farms with the other farmers, because they can give them intel that the guy isn't going to get from the girls competing for him. They can get more intel like, "Oh, I talked to this girl and like you should be doing more of this." Like Jennifer Nettles does a fantastic job of communicating all of that, but I think let's say Taylor on Nathan's farm goes and talks to Mitchell because she knows the girls on his farm. It's like, this is like maybe some advice from her would be cool, or like whoever else. That's just the first name I have in my head because we're talking about her. But I think they should maybe show more of that or allow more of that to happen.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a good idea. Because I mean, in such an awkward situation where it's you and 5 women, it's hard to get that point across, I guess, right? So it's, if the women could talk more and kind of get that kind of intermingling and kind of get the inside baseball on that specific farmer, yeah, that's actually a really good idea.
Oh yeah, I was talking my trash to Hunter. He'll tell you.
Oh,
I was
man,
over in
that dude.
Well, Hunter was locked in pretty early, right? So.
Oh yeah, he was.
That's what I'm saying. Like he had to open up more to the girls that he still had at the time, instead of just focusing on what was gone at the time.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, he was amazing.
Yeah, he seemed like he was such a nice dude, but yeah, I mean, as soon when he made his final decision, I was like, dude, you're making the wrong decision because she does not want to live with you there. She's made it very clear, that she wants to be back with her family. So I was like, man, that ain't gonna last, and of course it didn't. But
yeah.
Now, all these women are taking their turn being on this love haystack, having little one-on-one conversations. And Mitch pulls, Melanie aside, I think, and they have a little conversation, and he goes in for the kill. No, it's Kiana. He goes in for the kill with Kiana.
Yeah, and then Melanie came afterwards.
Yeah, and then Melanie was like complaining. And then she was thinking about leaving too and pulls him aside, and he reassures her. She only gets a hug, though, no kiss. So I don't know what that means. So
well, Melanie was like out of her element too, because she's like, look, I ain't the type of girl to go chase a dude down, right? She's like, I want a guy to come talk to me, and he hasn't been. So she actually, took the initiative and went up and pulled him aside and said, look, hey, can we talk for a minute? Because I'm not getting quite a good feeling from you.
Now they're dancing, but you can only dance really with one person, and a lot of the women are on the sidelines watching their guy dance with another woman. That's got to be a pretty bad feeling, especially if you haven't had one-on-ones and Annellyse is out there on the side and just watching this, and it kind of sucks.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. How does that work, Sarah?
It's definitely awkward. I wish Annellyse stayed longer.
She seems like a real sweet girl.
Yeah, I don't think the one-on-one decision should be a determinant upon leaving. I understand where she's coming from, where maybe she's not getting the attention that she wants from him. But I was the last one-on-one. And from my perspective, I was because we already had a connection. So he didn't need to go figure that out. He found out if it was going to work on our one-on-one date. But I think be patient. Like, I think in Sydney's circumstance, she's the last one-on-one, and I think they had the strongest connection. I think Mitchell is going through his one-on-one dates to see if he can build another one and choosing Sydney last because he knows it's already there.
Right.
So I think if Annellyse could have just held on just one more week, I think we could have, and I would have loved to see more of her. I think she's fantastic. But I understand where she's coming from too. But it is hard to watch connections being formed in front of your face with the person that you're trying to do the same thing with.
Yeah, I really wish he would have convinced her to stay at least one more week and chosen her for a one-on-one, but I don't know if he was just put on the spot and didn't think of that. And
Annellyse is so upbeat. She's just a kind-hearted, sweetheart, just awesome person, and you're like rooting for her. Like, man, I hope she gets a one-on-one date because I think it would go well. Like, if he would just take the time to get to know her, I was like, it'd probably be a damn good date. But
I would love to see her on another show or something like that because she seems like a sweetheart. So
yeah, she has a great personality. He should have fought, especially after he just lost another girl. Fight for her to stay. Say, give me a chance. I'm just trying to find my relationships with other people, but I still have a connection with you. But if he didn't have it, maybe that was an easy out for him. So who knows, I guess, what's going on in his head either.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he said last week that he wasn't really having a connection with her. So maybe you kind of felt like she might have been on the chopping block, but he chose to send Brooklyn home instead. So, I was hoping he would spend more time dancing with her and doing things like that. So I don't know. Maybe he just had a stronger connection with someone else. And I mean, because, if you do have a stronger connection, maybe you do want to spend some time, but maybe you want to foster that relationship more maybe someone thinks the other way. I don't really know, but
I still think you got to be fair about it, though, and give everybody some time.
Because there is someone on Ty's squad, too, that's patient initially, but they're starting to go, what's going on? But someone's got to be the last person chosen, right? So, yeah, Brooke.
But she came out with some fire confidence in that conversation with him at the Clemson game, which I'm jealous they did the football game. But I was like, she came out with some confidence in that, and she was telling him straight up, take all the other girls on dates. I don't care. I'll be here. And then
and that was awesome to see.
But now she's starting to fall back on what she was saying, and now she's like, no, it's my turn. Take me now. So I think some other connections she's watching being formed, and she's losing a little bit of that confidence that he loved about her at the beginning.
Yeah,
and I guess that makes sense as you see these guys hanging out with other women making connections. She's like, oh my God, maybe I'm being too patient here, and I need to put myself out there more.
Yeah, she flat out told him, I better be next. And he's like, whoa. And then, of course, she wasn't. Right?
Yeah. Wrong decisions, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it comes to solo date decision time, and Nathan chooses Taylor, which, you know, he got the kiss, so yeah, that makes sense, right? And we'll see what the special surprise is that he's got planned for her at some point. Ty chooses Megan.
Yeah.
So what do you think of that? Again, we just discussed Brooke. She's getting frustrated.
Yeah, she is, and she told him she's getting frustrated. Told him she wants the next date, and he's like, sorry, Brooke. Or he's like, Megan. So I was kind of like, ooh, I wonder if we're going to see anything from Brooke this next episode. A little, animosity from that or something. But Megan's cool though, man. I like Megan. She's she's a very nice person, and she kind of had a leg up being the fact that she's an 8th grade teacher. Whenever they met the daughter and all that, she was able to connect with her really well. So.
Yeah, and then we go to Mitch, and he chooses Melanie, and every time like Mitch is about to choose, Sydney has this like smirk on her face, like she thinks it's her every time. But
that poor girl, man.
We'll see next week. I mean, other women are starting to notice that connection too, like when they're shooting bows and stuff. They seem like a little jealous of that, and so there definitely is something there, I think. So.
I don't think she's going anywhere unless she chooses to, but I think Mitchell's the type to fight for her if that comes about. But I think she has confidence in herself and their connection and their relationship, that she knows that they have their time coming, and if it's worth it, she'll wait around for it.
Yeah, and I'm with you, because I think this time around, like the first time when that happened, and she was all smiling like, yeah, he's gonna pick me, he's saying all this stuff, he means me, and then he picked the other girl, and her face just was sour. She was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But this time it wasn't so much that bad, right? So I think she's definitely getting to understand that, hey, I've got a connection with him, I don't have anything to worry about, and I'll get the final date. So.
And now Brandon here chooses Joy.
Yeah, you saw that coming.
And again, Brandon goes from 4 women to 2, so it's just Grace and Joy now. So that's it. What do you think of these 2?
I think Grace is absolutely adorable. I want to hug her. I think she seems like the sweetest person. I think she has a great personality. I think she's very fitting for Brandon. I think she has like a little bite to her, which he needs, but also she's a sweetheart. I think Joy is stunning, but again, I don't think it just doesn't make sense to me. I think Brandon is being walked all over by all of his women, to be honest. I don't think he has any control in his farm, which I think he should. I think Brandon is a fantastic person and he deserves an amazing person. In that situation, am Team Grace. I think I think she's a good fit for him.
I like Grace too. I mean, Joy seems cool enough, but I just don't know if the farm life is.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, like I said, I don't think she could fit in on a farm. I mean, she seems like she's a wonderful person. A great girl. She's just very all smiles. She's very nice, but I just don't think the farm life's for her. Whereas Grace, I think, could definitely fit in better.
Yeah, and I've heard a lot of good things about Joy outside the show too. So I'm sure she's a great person, but I just don't know about this.
Speaking of farm life, and I wanted to ask you about this. How much time are y'all actually, like the women, actually spending, actually going out doing farm work and that kind of stuff?
I mean, some of it's up to you. A lot of the times, especially Lily would be down riding the horses because that's what she does. So we're welcome to do kind of whatever we want in that aspect. When it comes to full-on farm work, they give us some gloves. They turn on the cameras. We go do some farm work.
Go show some shit and then...
Yeah, and like the girls would just be laying in the sun, but my personality is like, if I start something, I need to finish it. So they'd all be chilling, laying in the sun now because they're done, and I'm still like, no, it's not done. I need to finish. Like,
we got to get this done.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not a ton. What you see is what you get, I would say, in regards to farm work.
Right.
Now, they do show a trailer, and it seems like they're bringing another girl on the show, which is kind of interesting.
Oh,
like, what's up with that?
Yeah,
and everyone's going nuclear.
And in this one, like the other dating shows where they pull that crap, you expect it. This one, you don't expect it at all. And if I was the girls, I'd be pissed too. I'd be like, this is bullshit. So I totally get their reactions.
Shocked. I'd be so shocked, but again, it does then show who actually has legitimate connections. Because if one of the farmers goes run into this new girl, it means he doesn't feel a close enough connection to the one that he already has, that he feels like he has to chase something else. But I would be livid.
Now, they don't show any of the girls. They don't show any of the girls. So I don't know if this is some trickery, or I don't know if, like, you've been eliminated, maybe you can come back on a different farm. Maybe that's what they're doing. I don't know. That would be interesting.
I actually like that.
Yeah.
And we've mentioned that before.
Yeah. So I would like to see that, and I think that'd be a good surprise.
like, because for me, I was like, they should give you guys the opportunity when you are doing your get-togethers, the hoedowns, and the football games and all that. Like, if one of y'all are connecting really well with another farmer, then why not let you switch farms,
I agree. I think that'd be a really cool aspect to add to it. And I do remember seeing connections formed by people in certain instances that was not particularly their farmer. And I think it would have been cool to see them try to form a connection with them.
I think this is a really good idea for the show. Adds a little bit of drama, gives someone maybe another chance, or maybe a new woman a chance to come in here and shake things up. I don't know. I'm excited to see what they're doing.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, though, at this point, like, how much time do they have left before the show's over, right? It's
we're already seeing women having a hard time, so I don't know how a new girl could come in here
Yeah,
and make a connection, but you never know. And we did see Mackenzie leave earlier, and that's a bummer. And they never gave us an update on her.
No, they didn't.
I know. I was upset about that because I thought she was a front runner also.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She got the one-on-one date, so, and and that robbed Nathan of a date, so.
Yeah, I think it was something along the lines of her dad, so
Yeah.
I'm hoping everything's good and for her and her family, but yeah, it would have been nice to have her there.
Now, a lot of times people criticize the women on the show that they're here for the cameras and not here for the farmers. How much of that, from your optic, is true? Are there women there for reasons other than the farmers?
I'm sure there is. I don't feel like I saw much of that, especially on my farm.
You don't have to name names now.
There's definitely moments, I would say, where some people would step one foot forward to gain more of the attention in certain situations. But I don't know. I think with being this first season and us all just being so confused about what was going on in general, and if we didn't even know if this was on a main network, we were just saying, would you like to find love with the Southern Gentleman? Sure. So we're just showing up to this as if it could be a YouTube series. We don't know. And then all of a sudden it's these fancy cameras and we're like, okay, this is a little bit more than what we're expecting. I do think for sure there was maybe a couple people that wanted more from it. And I think there's people that maybe didn't intend for it, but took advantage of it afterwards, and shout out to them. Why wouldn't you,
Definitely.
Yeah, no kidding.
I think we had a cool group of people.
So that's all I got for this episode. What does Sarah V got going on in her life? Did you find a man, or what's the deal with your life?
You know what's crazy? I moved back to California. My brother's family is expanding to having another baby. So coming back, my parents are expanding on their bar, and now they're opening a wine lounge. They have a cigar lounge, speakeasy. So I'm kind of just running that. Bought a house out here. I'm just kind of settling in and hoping that someone will fall into place. Would love for it to happen, but I'm in no rush. I honestly love being single. Story of my life is being friend zoned, but I think it's just because I like to have genuine people around me without the pressures of maybe a relationship, I guess, at the moment. But yeah, no, I'm still looking. So if y'all know anyone.
Well, I don't know if you saw our episodes, but we're always big fans of yours. So, I would love to see you on another show, maybe Love is Blind or something like that. I don't know. Hopefully you're applying for stuff like that, because I'd love to see you on a show like that.
I didn't even apply for this one. I was scared.
Yeah, right. I know, right? Because some of these shows just reach out to people out of the blue, right? Like on Instagram and stuff like that. So.
Oh yeah, I thought it was fake. But at this point, yeah, no, it'd be cool. I think I'd be willing. I think I'm now more open to it because I've gone through the experience and realized that it's not as fake as I thought it would be. I was like, it was genuine conversations and interactions that we had. So I think it'd be fun to do another one. I'd rather be in more control myself than fighting for one person. So maybe they can for me next time.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks. That's another episode down. And Sarah, we greatly appreciate it. It's been awesome talking to you. You're an amazing person. We love having you on the show. And sure, we're going to have plenty of people talking in here. Because, like I said, we've had Ryan before. People love seeing Ryan's point of view, but sure, definitely love seeing yours. And hey, everybody, as always, hit like and subscribe, and we will check y'all at our next review.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you later.